Right, here we are in Effort Lesson 8, the last lesson in our first quarter of Greek. So, we're going to learn some personal pronouns today. Here are the first person pronouns. So, the nominative ego means I. Emu, or just mu, notice that does not have an accent. That's called an enclitic. We'll talk about enclitics down here in a minute. So, ego, emu, amoi, ama. So, this is I. Of me, genitive, or it could be my, obviously. Of me also means my in English. Dative, to me or for me. And then the accusative me. And then the plural, hemes, hemon, hemin, hemas, is we, of us or our, to or for us, and us. And then likewise in the second person, su, soy, soy, su, su, soy, sa. Hemes, hamon, himin, hamas. You, of you or your, to or for you, you. Y'all, of y'all or y'alls, for y'all, and y'all. Okay. So those are easy. You just need to learn them. Just essentially learning another noun, little set of endings to learn. So make flashcards of each of those. And then here's something else to make a flashcard of, the verb to be. Amy, a estin, esmen, esta, eisen. Amy, a estin, esmen, esta, eisen. So I am, you are, he, she, or it is, we are, y'all are, they are. This is present indicative active. And the infinitive, the present infinitive active, is ani, to be. Then there's this long discussion of enclitics. Don't get too worked up about learning these rules. I'm not going to give you a quiz, in this situation, where does the accent go? It's just something to be aware of. So I've typed out here some of the rules. So on the very bottom of page 39, the following rules will illustrate the possibilities. If the preceding word has an accent on the antepenult, so apostolos has an accent on the antepenult, and you put an enclitic on the end, then you're going to get another accent on that previous word. Because basically the enclitic is connected onto a different word. It doesn't carry an accent of its own. So in other words, a person speaking in fluent Greek would not say ha apostolos mu. They would put that mu as if that were part of the word apostolos. So they're going to say apostolos mu. So mu won't get an accent. Apostolos mu. Likewise, here's what happens if there is a circumflex on the penult. Hadu lasmu. If there's just an accent on an acute on the penult, halagasmu. If there's an accent on the penult, but the enclitic carries an accent, has two syllables, and you're going to get halagasestin. Halagasestin. And then if there's an accent on the ultima, haruanasmu. Again, I do not expect you to learn those. It shouldn't throw you. You should, I'd make a flashcard of these things, kind of explaining them and review it a little bit. But the only one that's really going to change meaning is this business here. When estin is written estin, when the accent changes from being on the ultima to being on the penult, this one with the accent on the penult means is lawful, or rather means exists. It exists, or it is possible. So that is something you should make a flashcard of. Essentially, it's a vocabulary change if the accent shifts. Instead of st is it is, esti is it is possible or it exists. In Greek, just like in English, we have cases of elision, where vowels drop out. You don't want to pronounce two vowels in a row, so they kind of run together. And so apa, right? If I wouldn't say apa autu, I'm going to run those together, drop the short vowel apautu. or apautu. And if there's a rough breathing mark, like hemeros has a rough breathing mark plus pi equals phi. Aphemeros, I should say. Read the accent there. Aphemeros. So that's all. That's all for this lesson. New stuff to learn. Of course, we've got vocabulary as always. I'll read through that quickly. Apostello, I send a me, obviously to be. Eisago, I go into. You can see it's just eis plus ago. I enter, I go into. Ekbalo, likewise, that's just ek plus balo. I throw out, I cast out. Ha-angelos is a messenger, an angel. Remember, when two gammas go together, oops, lost my Greek there. When two gammas go together, they're pronounced like an ng. Ha-angelos. He aletheia, truth. He aletheia. Ha dikaiosune, righteousness. Ha cosmos, the world. Ha namas, law. Ha achlos is a crowd. Ta paterion is a cup. Ha huios, sun. Ha chronos, time. He psyche, life, life force. Soul, that's the word for soul. Psyche, and he listed as life or life force because like Aristotle says trees have psyche. It's anything that is alive has a soul in classical thinking. Likewise, the word animal comes from the Latin word anima, which means soul. So an animal is anything that can move on its own that has a soul. But in the New Testament, it'll sometimes it'll mean soul, sometimes it'll mean life. Just have to by context. And our pronouns on page 42, first and second person pronouns. Negative particle u means not. It'll be listed as uk before a vowel with smooth breathing, or uk before a vowel with rough breathing, and if it's in front of a consonant, it'll just be u. And then some prepositions. Apa means from or away from, and it takes the genitive. That needs to be part of your vocabulary card, that apa takes the genitive. Likewise, eis means into, and it takes the accusative. And ek means out of, and it takes the genitive. And it's spelled x before a vowel or a diphthong. So you need to make sure that you know when we have prepositions, part of the vocabulary card needs to be what case it takes. The word following the preposition, governed, the word governed, we call it, by the preposition, will take a specific case. And then a conjunction, Allah, means but. Okay, that is it for the lesson. So learn these, get your vocabulary cards made, get your cards made for these forms of the personal pronouns and for the verb to be. And then spend a day or two with those cards, then work on your translations 1 through 7, Greek to English. When you have those done, start the next video in which I will give you the translation exercises corrected.